Hi, welcome back to In Your Defense. I'm attorney Steve Tolan. You know, it was a wise person who once said, sometimes in troubled times you just need to know when to give up and have a margarita. I think we can all relate to that. In fact, our governor, while we don't always agree about politics, our governor, I think, issued an executive order that probably everybody on both sides of the aisle can agree with, when on March 19th of 2020, he issued an executive order that overrid previous rules from the Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission about alcohol to go from restaurants. But it does spur a lot of questions, and I've been inundated, I think is probably the right word, believe it or not, with a lot of questions over the last few months about how is it legal and what are the rules of that, as no one wants to get in trouble. So I thought it might be kind of fun today on In Your Defense to take a few minutes and dissect that executive order about alcohol to go during the pandemic. So 4 things to remember about this rule. First and foremost, it applies and only protects you for manufactured sealed alcohol. That is, the alcohol needs to stay in the original container which the manufacturer put it in. Restaurants are not allowed, of course, then to make their own alcoholic beverage and put it in a styrofoam cup and put some scotch tape over it. Now they can make the cocktail mix that goes with it and sell that as a separate item, but they can't sell the alcohol themselves. They can't break it open. So it's got to be in its original sealed manufactured container. Number 2, it applies to a certain volume of alcohol. It's 0.375 milliliters of alcohol. That's those tiny, what we used to think about as airline bottles of liquor, just the tiny ones. That's all it applies to. You can't go and get a bottle service from a restaurant these days, although that may be nice. Can't do it. Number 3, you have to have food, so you'll need to purchase food with the alcohol. Restaurants can't all of a sudden turn themselves into a bar and start just selling liquor to go. They've got to sell you food as well, or you've got to purchase food as well. And then number 4, it doesn't change the rules about those restaurants or bars that already had previously obtained specialty licensure from TABC to sell beer to go or wine to go. Those places are still in effect, provided they survived COVID and things like that. But those rules don't apply because they already had previous permission to sell. So you can still get what they call the growlers or the containers of beer to go or wine from those places, those specialty areas that already had that in place. So that's kind of your 4 rules on alcohol to go during the pandemic. It is totally legal. However, don't forget, open container rules still apply. So you can't take your little miniature bottle of alcohol, mix it, and then drive with it home. That would be a violation, a Class C violation in Texas of an open container rule. So we'll talk in future episodes of In Your Defense about the open container laws in Texas. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of In Your Defense. As always, if you have any questions about alcohol-related offenses or any criminal liability issues whatsoever, please reach out to me, attorney Steve Tolan, or us here at Pekin Tolan. Thank you.